Have you ever wondered how you understand what your orientation is? This question might seem a bit abstract, but it's actually a fundamental aspect of our identities. Orientation, in simple terms, is about who you are attracted to. It's about the people who catch your eye, who stir your heart, who make you feel a certain way that you can't quite put into words. It's about emotional, physical, and romantic attraction. You might already be familiar with some terms associated with orientation. Heterosexuality, for example, is when a person is attracted to someone of the opposite sex. Homosexuality, on the other hand, is when a person is attracted to someone of the same sex. Bisexuality refers to being attracted to both men and women, and asexuality signifies a lack of sexual attraction to anyone, regardless of gender. But here's the thing, orientation isn't a simple set of boxes that you tick off. It's not a multiple-choice question where you have to select one correct answer. It's more of a spectrum, a continuum that ranges from one end to another, with a myriad of possibilities in between. For some people, their place on this spectrum might be pretty clear. For others, it might be a little more fluid, a little more ambiguous. You see, understanding your orientation isn't just a matter of figuring out who you're attracted to. It's also a journey of self-discovery, a process of understanding who you are as an individual. It's about exploring your feelings, your desires, your relationships. It's about asking yourself tough questions and being honest with the answers. It's about embracing your truth, no matter what it may be. So let's embark on this journey together, shall we? Let's delve deeper into this concept of orientation, breaking down misconceptions, addressing myths, and highlighting the importance of self-acceptance and understanding. Understanding your orientation isn't always a clear-cut path, but a journey of self-discovery. And remember, no matter where you are on this journey, it's perfectly okay to be where you are. You are valid, you are important, and you are not alone. How does one discover their orientation, you might ask? Well, it's a question that can only be answered through self-discovery, and the journey is as unique as every individual who embarks on it. One of the most common ways people start to understand their orientation is through introspection. This is the process of looking within yourself to understand your feelings and attractions. It's about asking yourself who you feel drawn to emotionally, romantically, or sexually. Do you find yourself drawn to the same gender, the opposite gender, both or all genders? Sometimes the answers to these questions can give you a clue about your orientation. Another way to discover your orientation is by recognizing your feelings for others. This can be a bit tricky, as it involves distinguishing between appreciation and attraction. It's entirely possible to admire or appreciate someone of the same gender without being attracted to them. Similarly, you can be attracted to someone without necessarily appreciating them. Understanding this distinction can help clarify your feelings and, in turn, your orientation. But it's important to remember that there's no rush when it comes to discovering your orientation. It's not a race or a competition. It's a journey of understanding and accepting who you are. You might not have all the answers right away, and that's perfectly okay. You might even find that your feelings and attractions change or evolve over time. That's also perfectly normal. Orientation isn't something that's set in stone. It's a spectrum, and it's possible for someone to move along that spectrum throughout their life. It's okay to question, it's okay to be unsure, it's okay to take your time. In the end, the only person who can truly know your orientation is you. It's your feelings, your attractions, and your journey. So take the time to explore, understand, and accept yourself. Remember, figuring out your orientation is a personal journey, and it's okay not to have all the answers right now. Orientation is a part of one's identity, but what does that mean? Well, let's dive into it. Imagine you're a mosaic, a beautiful piece of art made up of countless different fragments. Each fragment represents a different part of you. Your past experiences, your passions, your dreams, your fears, and yes, your orientation. All of these individual pieces come together to form the complete picture of who you are. Your orientation is one of these fragments, a significant part of your identity that helps to define the whole. Now, understanding your orientation can be a journey of self-discovery. It's a process that involves introspection, self-awareness, and sometimes, a fair share of soul-searching. It's about accepting and embracing a part of you that may have been hidden, misunderstood, or even rejected. Coming to terms with your orientation can be transformative, leading to a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world. But it's essential to remember that your orientation doesn't define you entirely. It's like a single note in the symphony of your life. It contributes to the overall melody, but it isn't the entire composition. You are more than your orientation. You are a complex, multifaceted individual with a unique blend of attributes, experiences, and characteristics that make you, well, you. Your orientation also influences how you interact with the world around you. It shapes your relationships, affects your interactions, and can even impact how you perceive and are perceived by society. It's a part of your identity that you carry with you wherever you go, affecting and being affected by the world around you in a complex dance of cause and effect. So, while orientation is a significant aspect of your identity, it's essential to remember that it's just one part of the bigger picture. It's one fragment in the mosaic, one note in the symphony, one facet of the beautiful gemstone that is you. Remember, you are more than just your orientation. You are a unique, complex, and beautiful individual. Your orientation is just one facet of the beautiful gemstone that is you. There's a lot of misinformation out there about orientation. Let's clear some of that up. Diving into this scene, we're going to tackle some of the most common myths and misconceptions about orientation. One of the most widespread misconceptions is the idea that orientation is a choice. This belief is far from the truth. Orientation isn't something that's chosen, like deciding what to wear in the morning or what to have for breakfast. It's a deeply ingrained part of one's identity, as innate as the color of one's eyes or the shape of one's nose. Another common misconception is that orientation can be changed. This notion is not only misleading but can also be profoundly damaging. Attempts to change someone's orientation, often referred to as conversion therapy, have been widely discredited and are considered unethical by major medical and psychological organizations worldwide. They can lead to severe psychological distress, including feelings of guilt, shame, and even suicidal thoughts. Some people may also mistakenly believe that orientation is a modern concept or a trend. However, the reality is that diverse orientations have been acknowledged and celebrated in various cultures throughout history. It's not a passing fad or a new idea. It's a fundamental aspect of human diversity that's been around as long as humanity itself. There's also a myth that certain orientations are unnatural. This is not true. Nature is diverse and abundant in its expressions of sexuality and orientation. Many species in the animal kingdom exhibit same-sex behaviors, proving that diverse orientations are indeed a part of the natural world. Lastly, it's important to debunk the myth that all people with the same orientation behave or feel the same way. Orientation is a spectrum, and people's experiences within their orientation can vary greatly. It's essential to respect each person's individual journey and understanding of their orientation. Misconceptions can create confusion and harm, so it's crucial to seek out accurate information. Remember, understanding and empathy are key to breaking down these myths and misconceptions. Let's continue to educate ourselves and others, fostering a more inclusive and understanding world. So, we've explored what orientation is, how to discover it, its role in identity, and tackled some myths. What's next? As we wrap up this journey of understanding, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. Orientation is not a label, but a spectrum that varies from person to person. It's not about fitting into a box, but about understanding your own feelings and attractions. Discovering your orientation may take time and exploration, and that's perfectly okay. It's a part of your identity, and just like any other part of you, it deserves respect and acceptance. During this process, it's important to remember that everyone's experience is unique. Some may find clarity early on, while others might take longer. There's no right or wrong timeline. It's your journey, and it's important to honor it. We've also debunked some common myths and misconceptions about orientation. Remember, no one can tell you who you are or who you should be. Your feelings are yours alone, and they are valid, no matter what. Now, if you feel ready to explore further, there are plenty of resources available. Organizations like the Trevor Project, Human Rights Campaign, and PFLAG offer support and information for those navigating their orientation. They provide safe spaces to ask questions, share experiences, and connect with others who are going through the same journey. If you're struggling with feelings of confusion, fear, or isolation, please reach out to mental health professionals who specialize in orientation and identity. They can provide guidance and support, helping you navigate your feelings in a safe and understanding environment. Remember, understanding your orientation is not an overnight process. It takes time, patience, and self-compassion. But know this, you are not alone. There are people out there who understand and support you. Remember, understanding your orientation is a journey, not a destination. You are valid, and your feelings are real. Embrace your journey and know that support is out there.